Jai Shri Krishna, Jai Shri Ramachandra, Jai Shri Lakshmi Nrsimha. Today is a very important day. Although it is inauspicious for material activities, it is an extremely auspicious day for spiritual activities, especially the time that you will be hearing this video, that is 4 p.m. to around 6 p.m. For most cities in India. We will be having a partial solar eclipse, and this is a very propitious time to understand the spiritual truths of the Bhagavad Gita and to engage oneself with all the senses and the mind in spiritual discourses and mantras, chanting of mantras. Controlling the mind and the senses is the main activity that we need to perform during this Grahana Kala, or the time of the eclipse, and it is very important. For the Grahana symbolizes the struggle that the Jivi, or the soul, is feeling at the time of his tenure inside the body. The struggle that is being felt in trying to control the senses from the sense objects is symbolized by the Grahana. So the most appropriate chapter for this is the second chapter of the Gita, widely known as the summary of the entire Gita. Especially the last verses of the Bhagavad Gita are the foundations of many religions that we have today, including Jainism and Buddhism. Bhagavan Shankaracharya and the other great acharyas of this Punya Bhumi, like for example Bhagavan Ramanujacharya, have elucidated this portion of the Gita in a very special manner and have explained its importance. Gautama Buddha as well has explained this in his time in a beautiful way, which led to the dispersal of the Buddhism across the entire Southeast Asia as far as Japan as well. So this is the philosophy that has been the base for many religions, including Buddhism, and it is all about controlling the senses from desire and avoiding the excessive influence of desire in our lives, trying to let go of desires and performing action without desiring the fruit. This is known as Sankhya Yoga, and this will be the subject of today's video. My sister will be chanting the verses, and I will be giving a simple and basic meaning for each verse based on the Sanskrit verse. Jai Shri Krishna, Jai Shri Ramachandra.
Jai Shri Krishna. Om Shri Paramatmane Namaha. Sarvopanishado gavo dogdha gopalanandana partho vatsas sudhir bhokta dugdham gitamritam mahat. अथ द्वितीयोऽध्यायः सांख्ययोगः। संजय उवाच तं तथा कृपयाविष्टम् अश्रुपूर्णाकुलेक्षणं विषीदन्तमिदं वाक्यम् उवाच मधुसूदनः।
सर्वोपनिषदो गावो दोग्धा गोपालनन्दनः पार्थो वत्सः सुधीर भोक्ता dugdham gitamritam mahat. The Gita Dhyanam has this one beautiful verse which summarizes the importance of the Gita. So it actually picturizes a situation in which all the Upanishads are the cows, Lord Krishna is the one who is milking the cows, and Arjuna is the reason why the cows are giving the milk, that is, he is the calf. So only because the calf is there, the milk is being milked. So, Dogdha Gopalanandanaha Partho Vatsaha Sudhir Bhokta. The one with a good intellect is the one who enjoys this milk. So, only the one with a very good intellect and a good attitude, a good character can drink this milk and enjoy it. This milk is the nectar of the Gita, and that is what we need to try to understand. For that, we need a very good intellect, or at least a very good heart, in order to feel the meaning of the Gita. Even if you're not able to understand its philosophical details, it's enough to just feel the meaning, because the meaning is like nectar. And now Sanjaya who is reporting to Dhritarashtra about the different situations on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, is telling Dhritarashtra about the situation there. There, as we learnt in the first chapter of the Gita, Arjuna is in a very serious mental situation. He is in utter confusion and his body is shaking, his nervous system is completely bewildered and he does not know what to do at all. His situation is akin to many of our lives when we are in a dilemma, we don't know what to do, we are totally frustrated and upset and we just have no path in life. There are two situations or hundreds of situations in front of us and we don't know which path to take. So that is the state of Arjuna and that is from where the second chapter begins. The second chapter is very important for understanding the human mind and how we react to situations and how we should react to situations, and hence the beginning verse explains the Arjuna's state. Arjuna says, I shall not fight, and that's how the second chapter begins. Lord Krishna is going to provide a solution for this now.
Shri Bhagavan Kutasva Kashmalavidam Vishame Samupasthitam Anarya Jushtamasvargyam Akirtikaram Arjuna.
Then Lord Krishna replies to Arjuna, Oh Arjuna, from where did you get this sudden confusion? Kutasva Kashmalamidam. Especially in this hour, in this moment of crisis, this type of thinking will not lead you to any good. Lord Krishna begins to explain why Arjuna is wrong, where is he wrong in his explanation. In the first chapter, Arjuna gave a very detailed and long explanation of why he does not want to fight and all the different excuses for not fighting and his guilt, his fear, everything together in a total confusion and a state of total confusion. So Lord Krishna begins to attack the doubt one by one and tries to explain to Arjuna in a very lucid manner throughout the Gita, especially in the second chapter, why Arjuna is wrong, and Arjuna finally understands in the 18th chapter. So why Arjuna is wrong is the subject of the first few verses now.
Klaibyam asmagamah partha naitatvayupapadyate shudram hridaya daurbalyam tyaktvottishta parantapa.
Then he says, Klaibyam masmagamaha. O Arjuna, do not become impotent in your intellect. Try to understand. Klaibyam masmagamah partha. Do not become impotent in the intellect, which means that do not be bewildered by the situations. Try to understand the situation with the power of intellect. Let your intellect be sharp enough and in the right attitude try to understand what is happening. And do not be a coward in the sense Arjuna was never a coward by his physical prowess or his mental prowess. Right now he was in a situation where he did not know what was right and what was wrong and what exactly to do. So in that manner he was about to become a coward and he was about to escape from the battlefield. He was saying that I do not want to fight anymore. If the sons of Dhritarashtra, that is Duryodhana and his clan, if they want to, let them kill me. I do not want to take up any weapon and I do not want to attack my seniors. I do not want to kill my relatives. So Krishna is saying do not be a coward and try to understand the situation properly.
Arjuna uvacha Katham bhishmamaham sankhye dronam cha madhusudana ishubhih pratiyochyami pujarhavarisudana.
This is Arjuna's first justification. How can I attack with my arrows my own teachers who are superior to me? How can I do that? They are worthy of my respect. How can I lift my hand against them? How can I attack them? Is the first justification. But Lord Krishna counters this very soon with a few more verses.
Guru hatva hi mahanubhavan shreyo bhoktum bhekshamapi haloke hatvartha kamamstu guru nihaiva bhunjiya bhoganudhira pradigdhan.
So Arjuna's justification continues. He says that after killing all these great preceptors and my superiors, how am I to enjoy the pleasures of the kingdom which are tainted with blood of these great people who are my superiors? How can I do this? And how will I be able to, with guilt the tainted with blood is another way of saying extreme guilt that will not allow me to experience the pleasures of the kingdom. So Arjuna is worried about his situation after doing all this, the papas he might accumulate, and the guilt and the fear that are dragging him down at the moment. So all this is mixed up together, and he is in a total state of vibhrama, or total confusion.
न चैतद्विद्मः कतरन्नो गरीयः यद्वाजयेम यदि वा नो जयेयुः यानेव हत्वा न जिजीविषामः तेव स्थिताः प्रमुखे धार्तराष्ट्राः.
Arjuna continues, Nachaitad vidmaha. This is a typical expression of confusion. The first verse of this, the first line of this verse itself is an expression of confusion. Nachaitad vidmaha. Nacha etad vidmaha. We do not know. So he is not sure what is happening, and he does not know what to do. So very soon Arjuna will surrender to Krishna, saying that now I am your disciple, please teach me the truth. So currently he is in a state of confusion, and hence he does not know what to say.
कार्पण्यदोषोपहतः स्वभावः पृच्छामि त्वां धर्मसम्मूढचेताः यच्छ्रेयस्यां निश्चितं ब्रूहि तन्मे शिष्यस्तेऽहं शाधिमां त्वां प्रपन्नम्.
In this verse, Arjuna formally accepts himself as a student of Lord Krishna and asks Krishna in a very confused way, but still in a respectful way, to accept him as a disciple and teach him the truth, or to guide him and what to do. So he has already surrendered. He is not trying to argue with Krishna. He is just, as a friend, he is just relating his sorrow. But suddenly from a friend, he shifts to someone who is asking for guidance as a disciple. And now with this verse, the Gita actually begins. And now Krishna becomes the Guru, the Vishwa Guru. So here it begins.
नहि प्रपश्यामि ममापनुद्यात् यच्छोकमुच्छोषणमिन्द्रियाणाम् अवाप्य भूमावसपत्नवृद्धं राज्यं सुराणामपि चाधिपत्यम्.
So I do not see, Arjuna says, I do not see any way of reducing my grief from this great calamity. How am I to enjoy anything, even so I am not prepared to do this kind of a act, this kind of an act of killing all my relatives and indulging in this great war. I am not going to do this, even if I am given the great kingdom of the heavens, which is certainly millions of times better than the conditions on earth. So he said that I do not want to be even the king of the heavens in exchange for performing these kind of dastardly acts. So he is considering these acts as very bad and very evil, and that is his justification since the beginning. Although this war is for the sake of dharma, for the sake of establishing a righteous kingdom on earth, and for the sake of destroying the evil inside the Kaurava party, and especially for removing the unjust power of Duryodhana, who is becoming a tyrant day by day.
Sanjaya uvacha evamuttva hrishikesho gudakeşah parantapah nayotya iti govindam uktva tushnim babhuvaha.
In this verse, Arjuna finally says, Nayotsya, I shall not fight. So right now, he asked Lord Krishna to accept him as a disciple. But already, because of his confusion, he is saying he is not going to fight. So he already has made a decision. It appears that he is making a decision, but he is totally confused. So he just is saying, Nayotsya. Sanjaya reports to Dhritarashtra that Arjuna is refusing to fight.
Tamuvacha rishikeshah प्रहसन्निव भारत सेनयोरुभयोर्मध्ये विषीदन्तमिदं वचः.
Then Krishna smiled a bit, and then he began to begin his Upadesha to Arjuna, the Gita Upadesha.
Shri Bhagavanuvacha Ashocyananvashocastvam प्रज्ञावादांश्च भाषसे गतासु न गतासूंश्च नानुशोचन्ति पंडिताः.
Oh Arjuna, why are you giving these long, seemingly intellectual vadas? Vadas are arguments, seemingly intellectual arguments, tarka. which is science of logic. So why are you giving these empty, logical, hollow arguments that are, just based on some intellectual speculation? Why are you giving these prajnavadas? This is not befitting you, since you are supposed to follow dharma, and your dharma as a kshatriya is to do the right thing. No matter how the situation approaches you, you have to perform the right activity, even if it is your own superiors coming against you, or no matter how dire the situation is in terms of the moral, so-called moral and emotional standards. Here Arjuna is talking emotionally instead of from the perspective of dharma. So Lord Krishna corrects him and says, do not look at it from a very emotional standpoint, that does not befit you.
न त्वेवाहं जातुनासं न त्वं देवी जनाधिपाः न चैव न भविष्यामः सर्वे वयमतः परम्.
Also, Lord Krishna tells him in the previous verse that the wise, in the famous line, the wise neither lament for the living nor for the dead. So they don't care about, the